If I were a gambler, I would bet most of you spend more time scrolling through streaming content than actually viewing it. I would also bet that when you do decide to watch something, it's either The Office, Friends, or Family Guy for the 10 millionth time. Do yourself a favor and download the free TopFlix app on the App Store. TopFlix is a free content discovery app that uses personalized insights to cater to your taste and interests to help you discover new content. Explore and track curated watch lists developed by the tastemakers at TopFlix. In addition to content discovery, this app includes a never-ending library of all upcoming trailers organized by month and year, a daily updated stream of entertainment news, and much more. Seriously, if you like all things entertainment, you really need to download TopFlix. Now, let's get right into the video. Thanks, Sam, for being on the show. And again, you're a great musician. I've been following your page for quite a bit. I believe for the past year now. And I want to know first off, did you study music growing up? Was this something you just picked up on your own? How did that get started for you?
So my dad was a musician. He was actually a guitar player in a metal band in the 80s, like a hair metal band, not what we say metal nowadays. It was like more of the Motley
All
Crue
the crew
Van
stuff.
Halen
What was the
type
band
stuff.
called? What was the band called?
Skid Morales, I believe. I mean, they weren't like they didn't get too big or anything, but I believe they toured around a little bit. But
Still pretty good. Yeah, it's awesome.
yeah. So I was kind of always around music, and he was always showing me that type of music. Like I grew up listening to Van Halen, and really good guitar players like Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, and sort of that metal instrumental prog rock world
Mhm.
of guitar. I grew up listening to that type of stuff, so I was always interested in it. But I didn't start playing until I was 12, and my dad excuse me, my dad isn't really educated too much as far as music theory. He's always been more of an intuitive type player, I would say.
Mhm.
And he's a really good player, but so I never really was into. I sort of discovered the theory side of things on my own when I was 12 because I guess I had this approach like I just wanted to really get underneath the hood of the thing and really figure out how it all worked rather than just
Mhm.
learn song after song. I wanted to get underneath the hood and figure out like how music worked so I
Absolutely,
could
because then you
make
can
my
grow
own.
after you can grow and adapt to new things. Yeah, you learn more. You get
Yeah.
more educated. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess my goal was always I wanted to just be someone who could my goal really was I wanted to be the greatest ever. That was my fantasy as a kid, of
Of
course.
course.
But you change how you feel about that as you get older and how you define things like that. But so I always wanted to be someone who could just sit in any musical situation and just step right into the groove, into the vibe, and just fit right in, like in any situation, whoever I was playing with. And so that sort of led me into like, okay, let me learn all these. So I started looking up like major scale patterns and stuff like that while I was, from 12 years old all the way through high school. So I had a bit of theory background up to that point, and then I went to college and actually ended up getting my bachelor's degree in music. So that's when I sort of had a formal education in it, and that just sort of gave me it sort of brought a lot of things that I already kind of understood, maybe intuitively or through studying on my own.
Mhm.
It sort of brought all those things home in a different way, sort of tied it all together, and gave me a little bit more context. So yeah, that's sort of where I've my background as far as like actually studying music.
Yeah, well, it's pretty cool. Like, it's good because growing up, I played guitar, as I mentioned before to you, and I took guitar lessons and stuff. I never really got into the whole like. I'll be honest. To this day, I still can't read notes. I read tabs, and that's. I mean, I guess there's something wrong with that, but it's just I never got into
Hey, I
actually.
don't I don't really use I mean I can read music. I have some sheet music on a stand like in the corner of my room, but I don't really ever need it or use my music reading ability. If most of the time if I want to learn something now, I try to learn it by ear.
Yeah,
That's
because you've
like
already
I
because you've
know
had the
how to.
foundation. You've had the foundation, like you mentioned, and now you're
Yeah,
building off that. You go, okay, I know how to play
yeah,
these chords. I know what scales to build off with certain chords. So I think
yeah.
that's very important how you do that because, like again, I know I'm always relating it to myself, but because in a way I can relate to
We
you
all
about
are.
that. Yeah, but I see when I see your Instagram stuff too. That was one thing I wanted to bring up, your Instagram page, and I thought that was very creative and unique because you do these things called type guitar chords, right? And for some people who don't know what those are, you want to explain what that is because you do these things called type guitar chords that are related to video games, movies, and etc. Right? And I just think it's really cool. So you want to talk about that a bit?
Yeah, well, they're certainly at. I don't. I've just been, as far as the whole Instagram thing, I've definitely been and still am. It's one of those things where I'm just building the plane as I'm flying it. I don't have anything I'm trying to sell or anything outside of, I mean, I've been able to give people some private lessons. I've been able to funnel some of my followers into taking some private lessons with me. But other than that, it's like I'm not really trying to sell anything. So I haven't had a specific aim with my content at all. It's just sort of taken a life of its own. But as far as like the chord videos you're talking about, basically what I like to do with a lot of them are, I'll incorporate a video game into them, or
Mhm.
I'm not sure I've done any movies, but I'll incorporate
The
some sort of.
The Harry Potter ones, those were
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. That's right. I did do that one. So I like to do some pop culture references in those, and it's a cool interest, like exercise for me as a composer because it's, I'm basically just trying to translate some of the common stylistic elements I hear in maybe the actual score for the movie or the video game,
Yeah.
and distill those down into like some simpler chords to where it's like, even if you're not a great guitar player, you don't know a lot about music theory, you can still like look at these tabs and learn these chords, and that'll sort of get some of what the sound of that kind of music is on the guitar for you. So I think that's cool. And also a lot of them uh, they're getting into varying degrees of ridiculousness, right? Sometimes
I've
like,
been seeing, no, but in a good way. I saw what you did. You did one, was it like last week, about it was it's like, oh, if you play these certain chords, you enter this new realm. And
yeah,
it's like I forget what happened. You were like playing a god or something. That was hilarious, man. I like that stuff. It's creative and it's fun, you know? It's
yeah, thanks.